Hey guys, welcome to the 80s Gamer. I'm Clayton.
And I'm Miles.
That's Miles. He's my son. I'm his dad. And on this show, we get together and talk about video games. And frankly, it's just an excuse for me to get to hang out with my son. And if you want to follow along with us and chat about video games, you can please join us. We would love to have you here. Normally on this show, I introduce you to like an 80s game or something classic. Doesn't have to necessarily be 80s. It could be early 90s. It could be anyway, a classic game. I'm introducing you to the very first time, and we play it together. We kind of go through it again together. So if you missed our first episode, we talked about what's the game it's a remaster, but you're getting to play it for the first time.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Metroid Prime Remastered. So that's really our first game that we're doing here on the channel, so we're making our way through it. But tonight, we thought we would talk about Tears of the Kingdom, right? But what specifically about Tears of the Kingdom?
Well, like, what we hope for the game, you know?
Right.
Like, what... Because there's a lot of things in Breath of the Wild that were awesome, but it just... I mean, there was also the things that weren't. So, these are our hopes.
Our hopes and dreams?
Yeah, for Tears of the Kingdom that are going to be different from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, so these are a lot of things that... Look, I mean, I think we can agree, right? Like, Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest games... Well, you know, you don't have a long catalog of games, but I think you love the game. You beat it before I did. I'm still making my way through it, actually. I beat the 3 Divine Beasts.
Right.
So now I'm on my 4th Divine Beast right now. But absolutely love Breath of the Wild. It's an amazing game. And of course, Tears of the Kingdom is coming out real soon. And now you've been going back through the expansion pack, right? The DLC, and experiencing some things in there too, and going through some of the things that they added in later.
Yeah.
The beauty of the DLC, right, is that they've added in things later on. Like things that they thought about, oh, this would be cool for the game. And there's also, you know, some different outfits, different armor, different swords, things like that. So they've added those into the game. So what's it been like going through the DLC right now? Well,
there is one thing about Breath of the Wild is that it's never like, you're never gonna get 100%, you know?
Well, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, wouldn't it be great if I could do 100% of Breath of the Wild?
Right. But there's just like, what I think, not enough time.
In your life, yeah.
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 But for me, I mean, now I've gone back, and I was saying to you before we started recording that I hadn't even gotten the Hylian trousers from the chest in the Great Plateau.
Because you didn't know the chest was even there.
No, I didn't.
Because you went right past it. And
I had gone back to get another stamina vessel. In the Temple of, what's it called? Temple of Time. And I came across this chest, and I'm like, oh, what's in here? And it gave me the Hylian trousers. And I'm like, wait a second. I bought this from Kakariko. So they had already had it, and I had bought it.
Oh, you bought Hylian trousers that you could have gotten within the first, 4 minutes of the game?
Yeah.
So were you walking around with no pants in the beginning then? You had your pantsless?
No, I mean, they give you the worn trousers in the beginning.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're like the tattered, worn trousers. Okay. So we thought this would be great. We would talk, this is a kind of a special episode tonight where we're going to talk about Tears of the Kingdom. Each of us are going to pick our 5 things that we hope will make it into Tears of the Kingdom, things that maybe or probably clearly not in Breath of the Wild, that we would actually maybe hope to have inside of Tears of the Kingdom that we don't have inside of Breath of the Wild. So why don't, Miles, you kick it off? By the way, if you're just joining us here, I'm his father. He's 12 years old. He's been you know, it's funny. I used to go to E3 a number of years ago and cover that in technology, and I got you a little onesie when you were just
right. I do remember that
when you were just born.
I don't remember it from when I was just born. You don't remember when you were just born.
But I got you a little onesie at E3 that said "Daddy's Little Gamer" in a little onesie. So I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of that, and I'll put it here in the video. Or just I don't even know if we have you in it, but I'll show you the picture of it. So all right, so you're gonna kick it off. So officially, You're going to kick it off. We're going to go through 5. You start with 1, and then I'll go to 1, and back and forth. So drum roll, please. What is something that you want to see in Tears of the Kingdom that's not currently in Breath of the Wild?
All right, so my very first thing was underwater swimming. So you'll be able to because in Breath of the Wild, I saw a glitch on the internet where you would they glitched underwater and saw that there's already all of the coral reefs and everything that
So all the world building is already there.
Yeah,
Or a lot of it is there.
it's just the mechanic of underwater swimming. And I get it's a bit hard with already every button they have occupied,
Yeah.
you know, with everything else. But I would have liked to seen would have
liked to have seen
the exploration of the coral reefs, you know?
Yeah.
But now in Tears of the Kingdom, even though I did put that as my first option, I don't think it's probably not going to be there because the kingdom has been teared into these different islands, you know?
Oh, right, because we're going to be in the Sky Islands.
Well, I mean, if you see here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there is some water you can see in the background there on that island.
Yeah, because in the trailer, we don't see any water.
But we
right?
do see the diving mechanic that is in Breath of the Wild. If you...
Right,
yeah. So...
Cool. Okay. All right. I won't ruin it then. One of my picks here. So I got to pull up my my picks. So I have them written down here, so you couldn't see them ahead of time. I have them pre-written down here. So all right, my picks are. I'll go backwards because I kind of already. Actually, number 1 on my list. Well, I'll just do number 1. Number 1 on my list was the exact same,
Really?
but a little bit different. So it's underwater play. Like underwater kingdom and underwater village. So not just
So you'll be able to use your bow and arrow or something to shoot a fish. I mean, you can already do that. I think.
Like going underwater, kind of like in Atlantis. So, you know, where you would discover, I don't know. Just give me where am I? Death Mountain now? What's the name of the Goron village?
Goron City. Yeah.
So Goron City. So imagine like an underwater city. That I was always kind of picturing it like kind
of like Zora, you know?
Zora, yeah. Well, that would have been cool if there was like an underwater version of Zora.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you do kind of get to ride atop the water, you know, with what's that guy called? You know,
yeah.
In the beginning, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, where you're riding on. He has I don't know some kind of animal that you're riding on. I forget what an animal is. But having an underwater a whole kingdom that you can go explore, and then you have to there's a boss battle and stuff. So, but having I almost picture him wearing like a mask, some kind of a thing he has to get in order to be able to swim, like an underwater breather.
Kind of like Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order.
Right.
I've just gotten that. It's I'm pretty sure I'm I don't know, maybe halfway through the game. I'm pretty sure less than halfway.
Of Star Wars Fallen Order?
Yeah.
On the
great
PS5?
game.
Yeah.
But then they give me, here's your breathing tank. I'm like, what? And you have to hold a square in order for it to, for you to dive underwater. And so maybe it should be something like that, where with the Zora armor and everything, it would have been cool to see some underwater armor. Maybe that should be the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, like some sort of underwater fish armor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, with something similar to yours, I think underwater could be because think about Avatar, right? There's a whole movie that we were all in the sky, we were all in the forest for the first movie, and then Avatar. The what is it called? Way of the Water is it's all underwater. It's beautiful, and it's I don't know. There's so much that they could do there. I think with underwater creatures and opening that up, so that would be a lot of fun. Plus, there's such a great history of Nintendo games, going back to Super Mario Brothers, being underwater with Mario and Luigi, or just Mario having to swim with the little fish, the cheap cheeps
there's
coming
always
up.
that.
Yeah. So if there was some sort of, and that would be actually really cool if there were some little enemies like the Octo guys that you had to fight. That were similar to the cheap cheeps from Super Mario Brothers.
I mean, there was a lot of enemies in Breath of the Wild that seemed like they should have been in underwater battle. For example, like the Lizalfos, I think they're called.
Yeah, the lizard guys.
They come out of the water, except if you're in like Gerudo or something.
Right.
But they come out of the water and like shoot stuff at you, like shoot water at you. So it would have been cool to see like maybe an underwater mechanic where you go and like you spin underwater and then like I don't know, use your sword or something.
Well, because you do the spin attack in Zora, and Zora's once you get the Zora armor.
Yeah, only when you get the Zora armor.
Zora armor. When you get the Zora armor, and then you can spin attack. So maybe something underwater that allows you to like propel faster. There's so many things they could do with that. Okay, what's number 2 on your list? Number 2, drum roll.
All right. For the number 2 on my list, it's shrine detection, a longer range for shrine detection, because
good choice.
You'll get a shrine, but like for me, I kind of tested the shrine detection, and it was it only starts beeping. I mean, maybe there's an upgrade for this, but I don't know. It only there's so many things I want to say with this, so
Go ahead. I think it's great because I was thinking about this last night. Actually, I was playing in Goron Village, and I was so frustrated. I could not find this freaking shrine. It was beeping at me for like, and it took me a half an hour to find it.
Really?
Finally, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it took me a long time.
All right, so what I was thinking is if you like hear a shrine, I mean, obviously it'll be a longer range away.
Right.
But you'll be able to look on your map and see like an area of where the shrine could be.
Like you're getting hotter.
Yeah.
Like you're getting hotter, and it gets like hotter. Like it could be even just like as simple as that, like green, 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 red, 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 like a color indicator or something like that.
Like you're getting closer, you know?
Right.
But like it's just kind of like I was saying, I detected or tested.
Yeah.
To see how like close you had to be, because I saw a shrine in the distance, and I'm like, why isn't my shrine detection beeping? And so as I got closer, you have to be able to see all the features on the shrine for it to start beeping. So like you have to be close enough to it for it to start beeping.
Instead of like leading you to it, it's like beeping when you're near it. Because my biggest frustration is, well, I think that's great. I would love that because it's so frustrating. Mm-hmm. What I would love to see is if they had the shrine detection was, proximity based. Mm-hmm. So it would give you, and also elevation based. Because I was up, because when you're flying, or when you have the hang glider and you're up, sometimes it's beeping. Because I don't know why. Maybe it's because like sightline. I don't know. It's just a weird It's just a weird layout. And then if you land, then it suddenly goes away, and you're like, well, what the heck? I was just flying and I heard it beeping, and now I'm here. And so
maybe like next to it, because there's the it'll show like an antenna with the 3 lines.
Yeah.
Maybe it could have like an arrow, like go up or go down.
Like north, south, east, or west. Yeah, like almost like Find My on the iPhone. Like when you're like, where did I put my keys? And it's like deet, 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 deet. And you could use your Sheikah slate to do like a
that
thing,
could be cool. What if it was like a rune?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think it'd have the importance to do that. Like, it's not that important. I mean, it is pretty important to find shrines, but like
I'm a shrineaholic. I love solving shrines. And by the way, I played one last night. Oh my God. Or this afternoon. I loved this shrine. It was my favorite shrine so far. Tell me if you remember this one. It was in Goron Village, and it was the one that was hidden in the lava, in like a dragon's head or something. And you had to take one of the mining carts to get to it down under, and it was in all its anyway.
That's what I love about Breath of the Wild. There's so many secrets. Mm-hmm. That's what I meant by like you're never gonna be able to finish the game because there's just too many secrets. Yeah,
there's so many, and then you fighting bad guys and all this. But this particular shrine had you were using all sorts of energy. You were using like different energy things to. It was the blue flame. It was the blue flame shrine, and you had to like shoot arrows between a thing to get over and the whole thing. Oh, it was so much fun. So much fun. So I love playing the shrines, and so that's a great one. The shrine detection, that's a good one. Okay, I'm up. Number 2 on my list. Number 2 on my list is, okay, this is kind of a boring one, but I'm still lost with this. Number 2 on my list is, what the heck do the numbers mean on the armor and shields and swords? And if you actually look it up, people are like, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's pretty complicated. And maybe I'm just an idiot, and maybe it's just so obvious that I can't figure it out. But it'll show like a 30, then a thing. And I'm like, okay, growing up playing like Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, and all this, like, okay, so that's the range of hit points that it can, or protect you against, or protect you from, or inflict upon an enemy. Anyway, I just think the numbering system, and then it'll show like 5 hearts, or show like, a thing of hearts for refilling, and then it's got a little 5 or it's got a 10. I'm like, okay, what do these mean? Like, and there's no explainer, so you've got to just kind of figure it out.
Well, I mean, when you said, "Am I an idiot?" or you're right.
You're not allowed to pick on me.
You're right in both things.
Right.
You're an idiot,
okay.
And
it's true.
And it is pretty confusing.
Okay, so I'm not... All right, so... Okay.
No, you're both.
So then what is it? Can you explain it then? Because I want an easier... I just want... So someone who's just coming into the game for the first time, it would be great if these numbers made sense and there was a clear explainer about like how these things actually worked. Or if someone... Maybe there was like, like the old ancient guy who fixes the stuff. He uses the shaft,
right.
the orbs, or the core, and he builds you stuff. I don't remember what village he lives in.
Akala.
Okay. But he could explain it. Or there could be like a journal that you find
could be cool,
that explains it. But there's nothing. And you're just sort of on your own to figure that out.
Well, I mean, like you said, can I explain to you? No. I can't.
Because you can't even explain it.
But there is one thing you mentioned with the hearts. It'll have 1 heart and then 10.
Yeah.
Under it or something, or a 5.
Yeah.
That means there's 5 hearts before that. So it'll show maybe 4 hearts, and then in one of the hearts it'll have 4. So it means before that heart, there's 4 more hearts. Do you get that? So if you were to eat something that said it had 4 hearts, but that it has a 5 on the heart.
So 9, it would give you 9.
9 hearts.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because I know it's always giving me more, but I can never quite figure it. And then I'm always overeating. That's the other problem. Like I'm eating.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm eating. So okay, I need 5. Like I have 5 empty heart containers, and I'll eat like 10, and I don't need that many. Like I wish I would be better. Not overeat. This was better about it.
This was not on the list, but I was just thinking, like, what if, like, there was something, because I would hate to have like 1 heart left, but then eat, and I only have 1 meal that gives me 10 hearts, but it doesn't give me anything else, like temporary hearts. So maybe they could do something with that. I don't know what they would do. But
yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, so that you're not overeating, or you're eating just enough, or like I don't know. Maybe there's a way to make it a little easier to figure out like what would be good for you right now. Like you're half down. Maybe here's a meal that can give you half, like a half of a meal, like half of a pork chop.
Like maybe there could be something where you because how when you cook the meal, it'll show up like in the order that you cooked them.
Yeah.
But like if you were if you're down this many hearts, it would be able to tell you like, maybe this meal could help you get as much hearts as you need,
Right.
By not overeating, maybe overeating 1 or 2 hearts.
Right. Yeah, I like that. So some food and the numbers and the food, maybe there could be something there, maybe even with cooking too. Okay, I just went, right? Number 3 on your list.
All right, so number 3, I've heard a lot of people complain about this actually, and it's the boss battles.
Really?
So, I'm not gonna give anything away with the boss battles.
Okay, good.
But there is just some that are not there. It's just not hard enough.
Oh, well, there's one that I'm thinking of. It's actually, Yeah, I didn't die during it, so I knew that it wasn't that hard. But yeah, there was one. I'll just name one because it's not like a spoiler, but well, maybe it is kind of a spoiler. But at this point, it's been out. How long? The game's been out now for
3 years? No.
5 years? 5 years? 6 years now? So by now, you should probably have played it.
But if you don't still want no spoilers, then
yeah, just pause it or just go. I'm just going to mention one. Okay, so you could maybe skip ahead here. I'm just going to say that there's one Yiga village battle. That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's actually a funny one, but it's not hard, right?
Yeah.
So you want them to be...
Oh, it's that fat guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the fat guy.
It's the fat ninja.
Fat ninja, who's really funny. But it's not hard. But the previous part to getting to him was hard.
Yeah.
So what would you want? You would want to make the boss battles just that much harder?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that in the original Zelda games, it would take you at least 20 tries to get to a boss battle.
Yeah, it's hard. Which is one of the games that we're going to be doing here on the channel, by the way, is the original Zelda. So that'll be coming up here in the next, a few weeks after we get through Metroid Prime and some of the other ones we have planned. Before Tears of the Kingdom, we're going to go through the original Zelda. So you got to join us on that journey. Yeah, well then, look, Metroid Dread is one of the hardest games I've played in a long time. And the boss battles in Metroid Dread, holy smokes. And like one of my favorite YouTubers, Happy Console Gamer, he was talking about the same thing.
Shout out to him if he's watching
Shout out to him. He's literally, I will sit and play games and watch. Like earlier this afternoon, I was sitting there.
I saw you.
He came into my office and he's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm watching Johnny on Happy Console Game." So yeah, I'm like, if I was like, he will become a friend of mine someday in my life. That's my goal.
If
but
you're
he was
watching
saying
this,
he was saying how difficult it was, so difficult, and I'm like, absolutely. Oh my god, there was like 45 times that I was battling some of these enemies in Metroid Dread, and I got like one afternoon. I think I played one of the boss battles for over an hour straight, dying, coming back, dying, coming back. Just
I know.
So do you want it that hard?
I mean, there should be a difficulty mode. You know, I think there is, but like even on Master Mode, which is in the DLC.
Yeah.
But even in the Master Mode, there's just. I haven't played the Master Mode, but I've just heard that it's still not as hard as you want to be. I mean, the boss battle that I was talking about was the end.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, because you were like, "Oh, I'm here." And then...
I'm doing it. This is it. This is it. And then, the divine beasts help you. I'm not gonna say anything else. And then that kind of just defeats it, you know? And then you get like Flurry Rush, you know, all the things that you've been learning throughout the game.
Yeah.
And
right. That's a good one. All right, so tougher boss battles in Tears of the Kingdom. Okay. All right. A little coffee break while I think about my next one here. The next one on my list is okay. My next one is is a battle mechanic, and that is timing of things. Like, I obviously, to beat certain people, you want to have, that's part of the fun of it, like Flurry Rush and things like that. But I'm telling you what, like I keep avoiding the Lionels because unless you get that timing perfect, you're screwed. You're dead. Like you're dead, right? With one hit, you're dead. So to do a backflip or a side flip or whatever, I don't know.
And then like he'll nail you in the feet while you're doing a backflip.
Right, right. And so like can you be a little? I don't know. It's funny. You want them to be tougher, and I want them to be.
I mean, you're just slow.
I know.
You're too slow.
But I just want to. What the thing is? I want to. A friend of mine who he was one of the founders or one of the main guys at The Verge back in the day, Joshua Topolsky. One thing he said to me one time years ago is that he plays every game on easy mode now, and I remember him saying that. Because it's like, you've got a backlog of games, you want to get through them. So he does that so he can get through a lot of games. And I don't know, I'm playing Metroid Prime the way I'm playing it on normal mode, the way that I remember playing this game.
Could it be easier?
There's a casual mode. But
oh, right. Yeah, it says normal and casual. I'm like, what?
Well, and back on the GameCube days, there was like weird modes with it too. So it was different structure. But anyway, he plays it on easy mode. And I don't want that. But I just think that the timing could be a little bit more forgiving maybe in some of the things. So like Guardians specifically. Like I spent last night in one of the shrines, a Guardian was shooting his little laser beam at me.
Oh, right. And if you open it too much, then they'll hit you, right? But then if you don't, then it'll break your shield.
Right. And then if you flick too early, then you miss it.
Yeah.
So you're deflecting the Guardian lasers. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be that precise, and I don't know. That's just me complaining about it. So timing on the battle scenes, maybe a little bit more forgiving or not as important. I don't know. Let us know what you think about that in the comments below. Am I just
maybe there's not an explanation for it. Maybe Nintendo with their big brains can come up with something.
Maybe.
But yeah, I get that.
All right, you're up next. Number 4 on your list.
All right, so number 4 is, this will also have something to do with my next one. But it's about the Blood Moon. Maybe there's going to be something like this in Tears of the Kingdom, but the reason I put this on my thing was that I hope there isn't.
You hope there is not a Blood Moon.
Or less Blood Moons. Because in this, it's just like you'll be getting to the top of a mountain, you'll be climbing, and then a Blood Moon will appear. And then all of the monsters will be resurrected. And then they'll start shooting at you. Like, you've just taken care of them. Right? You'll just taken care of them, and you're like, okay, great, now I can go and climb this tower. But
I agree with you. I agree with you on this because, well, like in Fire Emblem Engage, a game that we're both playing right now and enjoying, there's one thing that bothers me about some of the battle scenes, which is that the main boss person can be regenerated.
Yeah.
Like, you've already defeated the main boss person, and now...
And then they just use their crystal.
And they're back, and they use their crystal, and now they're back again. It's like, no, I just beat you.
Like, no, you're dead. Yeah,
like what? I don't know. So I agree with you on the Blood Moon thing.
But, about the Blood Moon thing, it's like... it's... If you have, like... I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Just, like, it's a... Like, eventually you'll just memorize it and recite it, you know?
You mean the... So, okay, so the cutscene.
Yeah.
The constant cutscene. It's the same thing. The blood moon rises.
Once again, Link, be careful.
And there's no quick way you have to wait through that whole first 10 seconds before you can hit the plus button or X button and go through it. Like you can in the shrine. Like if you want to skip these things where I'm getting the spirit orb, you can just click. Okay.
You're like, yeah, great, I get the spirit orb.
Well, and for me, I haven't had to deal with a blood moon in, hundreds of hours, I feel like, because I just get high. Like I'm always high. When the blood moon happens, I'm on a high plateau or I'm up away. Yeah. So there's no enemies around me anyway that I've killed. Like they're all down. I've already,
But like one time I was at this monster base. I had just slain the last monster. It was a heavy thunderblade. Mm-hmm. I remember it. Zelda Breath of the Wild just decides to pull this blood moon on me. And so all these monsters just
pop right back up.
And I'm like,
damn it. Okay, am I at number 4?
Yeah.
All right, number 4 on my list is something that I think would be really cool because I'm a huge role-playing game fan, and even just going back to days of like playing like the Bard's Tale or things like that, where you're like upgrading weapons. Mm-hmm. The idea of like
that could be cool.
Like the cooking idea, right? So we've got this pot where we're cooking stuff.
Right.
What if in each of these villages there's also a blacksmith?
Oh, that could be cool.
Or like a blacksmith iron that you can go, with the different minerals that you've got or things like that. And you could like mod your swords and make them like, you could gild them into like cool things, right?
because like I'm getting that. Like, but there's a thing with the like when you smash like a big rock,
right?
It'll give you like diamonds and stuff, but you won't. There's nothing else to do with that except for sell them.
Sell them or take it to whatever village, I forget, where she can make you things like earrings and stuff like that. Yeah, but there's not. I wish there was more use of that, unless I'm missing something.
Like the blacksmith, like you were telling me. Like maybe you take a royal guard sword, and you find a diamond, and you could maybe do anything with it. Like maybe you can even accidentally downgrade your thing. I don't know.
Right, like you know how like you get dubious food?
Yeah.
Like, oh, womp womp, and now this great Thunderblade is now like a, I don't know, wet noodle, like a wet noodle.
If you combine like wheat with a great Thunderblade, it turns into like electric wheat.
Oh, electric wheat, yeah.
Or like grains of rice that you just.
See, there's all sorts of fun things we could do with this. So all right, I want the blacksmith. I want some sort of a modding, being able to like outfit some of our stuff with this. All right, number 5, your 5th and final choice here.
All right, so for my 5th choice, it's about the rain.
Rain. Oh yeah.
Because I mean, I get it with Zora Village, but anywhere else, rain will appear at the worst times.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
but isn't that like in real life though? Like, oh, we just got to your soccer game and oh, it's raining.
I know, but then it'll appear like when you're trying to get somewhere. Like maybe they could know like, oh, they've marked this place on their adventure log. There's a mountain. Maybe we shouldn't have it rain. You know?
Maybe.
I mean,
so you
because
just don't want it to rain
I always have to use Rivali's Gale
to climb a mountain because it's always slipping down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see a theme here. You want harder boss battles, but you want easier to get to the bosses because you don't want blood moons and you don't want rain.
Yeah. Because I felt like getting into the Yiga thing, well, like the same thing. It's harder. I mean, you just slaughtered all of them. I snuck past them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like it's harder than the boss battle itself, you know?
Yeah. All right, so less rain. All right, we'll try that. Less rain. Okay, here's my final one. Ready for my final one?
Yeah.
5th and final, Tears of the Kingdom wish that would make it really, I don't know, just something cool. This one's not like one that would, that I'm upset with in the first game that I think needs to be here. This is just like this would be maybe a cool idea, which is some sort of like Animal Crossing style building your own hut.
Oh.
Like a home base that you can go and maybe like store some of your weapons. Like
kind of like the Somniel.
Commonly like the Somniel, or even like your locker in Splatoon.
Yeah.
Like a place you can go back to, like even if it's like a tent. I don't know.
Because sometimes you'll run out of space in your inventory.
All the time.
So like maybe you can like teleport back to your thing.
Yeah, go back to your home base, and it's got to be far.
Yeah, it's got to, like maybe up on a mountain or something. Maybe you can select where to put it. Like, if you're dumb, you can put it next to a monster base. Right.
Because every blood moon, every time you're like, oh my God, I'm going home. Every time I go home, these monsters are back again.
Yeah.
Like these neighbors keep moving in. These bad monsters keep moving in. So yeah, you could put it in different spots, kind of like in Animal Crossing, right? Yeah. You kind of pick, and then you can upgrade it over time. And you could
because when you chop down trees, there's always that you get the firewood, you can make fires, but then what else?
Yeah, there's nothing else. Yeah.
So maybe you could use it'll say this requires 50 firewood pieces to upgrade your home.
Right. Yeah. So you could upgrade your home. You could put
and then you can sleep there for free. Because everywhere you have to go to sleep, you always have to pay something.
Right, and now because we're in the second iteration of Hyrule, right? Mm-hmm. Is he still just walking everywhere and just constantly going to be adventuring?
Like,
Is he
what's
not
gonna happen?
Can Link settle down a little bit? You know, find a lady, have some kids, raise some maybe, and you could even like, you know, like in Fire Emblem Engage, like adopt some animals.
Oh yeah.
Like you get yourself a little sheep or something, or like a cow, you know, as your friendly dog or something.
As like we settle down into the thing. I mean, in the trailer it looks pretty dark to me, so I don't know if there's going to be much sheep around anymore.
Or any homes around. So maybe there's not, it's, you know, he can't be really settling down. He's got to, I kind of picture it like the Shire in The Hobbit, you know, like this like little beautiful little Hobbit town where he could like live and have a little hut that he could keep his weapons in there. You have your own blacksmithing stone. Actually, the thing might be that you can't, so this would be tricky, that you can't teleport there. Like the only way to get there is you got to like, I don't know, because if it's so easy to get back to your home, then you could just go there all the time.
True.
You could keep going back there.
Maybe there's like and
that would ruin the game.
Fee, you know?
Yeah, there could be something. Nintendo's smart enough; they could figure something out. But we're like, where it's not easy to get to, and you can't teleport there. Like, I don't know. They could figure something out. But I would love to have Link have like a little home where he could do some cooking, he could blacksmith, he could sleep, and not have to travel around so much.
There's one thing that I'm not somewhat not excited about, because in the trailers, I don't know if this is going to change for Tears of the Kingdom, but it's that everything, even all the villages, looked so dark. And I liked the warmth of it, you know? Where you could go and find, I don't know, this village where everybody's so nice to you, you can buy stuff. But now we actually do see Hateno Village. Yeah. And it's all like drowned out, you know? And nobody to talk to. So it's kind of lonely. Yeah,
that's a good point. I think you're right. I think this is definitely going to be a darker Legend of Zelda.
I mean, I don't really like care, but at the same time I do, you know?
Well, people are saying, okay, this could be a lot like, and you've never played this game, but Zelda Majora's Mask, which is darker. It's also in some ways kind of like Empire Strikes Back, where of the trilogy, it's the darkest one, right? The Empire wins in that movie, right? So it's kind of a darker one, but it's also the best one too, right? So I don't know. It could be.
I mean, even with that voiceover with the like zombie guy, you know, that was pretty scary.
Yeah, was it Ganon? Zombie Ganon, or is
it was something Ganon.
Yeah. So there we go. There's 5 hopes, wishes, dreams for Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is coming out very, very soon. We're super excited about it. Let us know what you guys would pick. Put in the comments below some things that you are hoping for in this one, and we'll talk about some of it. We'll read some of your comments. We'll read them all, but we'll read some of your comments on the next one. We'll do like a follow-up, and we'll read some of yours on the show.
But there was one thing that I just wanted to say before we ended.
Okay.
See that? The green around it?
Yeah.
You can always see, like, even in the trailer, there's just green particles sometimes, you know?
Right.
And so I've noticed, like, oh yeah, that's cool. I just watched the trailer. And then I went to play some Zelda. And then I realized, hold on, like I was doing a shrine, and then when the guy like kind of, I don't know, evaporates, he turns into green particles. I don't know, that's probably gonna have to do something with that, you know?
Yeah, could be. I mean, there's a lot of people pulling apart these trailers right now, trying to figure out all the little nuggets.
This is not really a clue video, but...
Yeah, but who knows? We'll see. I mean, and you know, remember trailers are trailers, right? So the game could be much warmer than we think right now. Right. We don't really know. They edit a trailer to make it look a certain way. So we'll have to see until Nintendo does their maybe big treehouse event where we actually get full like game video, like deep dive into game mechanics and gameplay. So guys, that's going to do it for our episode today. We wanted to leave you with a nice warm, you know, Miles was saying that he liked a warm Zelda. So here's warm Zelda, Link on horseback, getting a nice drink in a nice warm creek.
Sort of puzzle there.
There's a shrine. There's something there. There's some sort of shrine. There's a dead guardian. Guys, leave us
warm.
some comments below. Let us know what you guys would like to see for Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, and be sure to check out our other episode, where our first one, where we laid out what we're going to do with this channel and Metroid Prime Remastered, so you can join us on that journey. And we will see you real soon, guys. Bye, everyone.